Hello, this is Danfe TV. Today's news highlights China to be stabilizer of global economy in 2022. China set a higher than expected GDP growth target of around 5.5% for 2022, with analysts saying the goal can be reached through serious efforts by tapping the internal strength of the world's second largest economy, and that China will continue to be a major world economic driver and a stabilizer of global growth amid headwinds and under the shadow of the COVID-19 pandemic. The GDP growth target for 2022, announced by Chinese Premier Li Keqiang on Saturday, as he delivered the annual government work report to the opening meeting of the fifth session of the 13th National People's Congress. China's top legislature projected policymakers' confidence in the resilience of the Chinese economy even as they warned of many more risks and challenges. In what many described as a warm and powerful message, this year's government work report also outlined policy priorities for a wide range of areas of social and economic development, including epidemic control, job creation, environmental protection, and a crackdown on trafficking of women and children. All key issues related to the lives and livelihood of 1.4 billion Chinese. In the roughly 1 hour, 16,000 word government work report, Li told NPC deputies and members of the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference National Committee that there were various risks and challenges this year, but also highlighted China's resilience and confidence. Elaborating on the growth target, Li said that the goal is aiming for mid and high range growth from a high base. So the government is taking the initiative and requires a great effort to achieve it. Put into perspective, the annual growth rate was set at 6 to 6.5% for 2019 as the economy pursued higher quality growth. An expansion of 8.1% in 2021 was considered to be based on a low base from the coronavirus hit 2020. Stability, a key word in this year's government work report, was mentioned 76 times, and all regions and government departments are required to take responsibility for stabilizing the economy and proactively unveil measures to support economic stabilization. The annual NPC session and the annual meeting of the CPPCC National Committee are collectively known as the two sessions. It's one of the most important political events in the country each year and offers a window into China's policy priorities for the year. Stabilizer of a world economy. A steadily growing Chinese economy ensures global industrial and supply chain stability, opens up more opportunities for global trade and investment, and helps with global efforts to fight the pandemic. The observers noted that growth target of around 5.5%, although below last year's 8.1% growth rate, will still likely outpace growth in many other major economies and play a key role in promoting global recovery amid a lingering pandemic, the Ukraine crisis, and mounting domestic pressure. China's GDP hit 114.4 trillion yuan, which means $18.11 trillion in 2021, and a 5.5% expansion on this basis this year equals 7.4% growth 5 years ago, or 10.5% growth 10 years ago. Xiang Dong, Deputy Director of the State Council Research Office, said at a press conference in Beijing on Saturday afternoon. That also suggests an economic increment of nearly 9 trillion yuan, equivalent to the full year size of the world's number 11 or number 12 economy. Xiang said, noting that achieving the 5.5% growth target is by no means an easy job and would require arduous efforts. A growth target of around 5.5% takes full account of macroeconomic operations and the economy's long-term development goals, Xijing Investment Research Institute said in a note, describing the growth target is reasonable and indicative of the government calibration of putting the economy back on the pre-COVID track for slower yet steady growth. The impact does exist, but as a major economy, China has a huge economic size and many policy tools. Government measures are effective and policies are flexible. Even if there are shocks, we can maintain independent macroeconomic policies, Yu Yongding, former president of the China Society of World Economics and director of the Institute of World Economics and Politics at the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences, told the Global Times in a previous interview. Despite being the lowest growth target set in decades, analysts said China's target economic growth rate will help stabilize world economic growth expectations in 2022, with China's contribution to the global economy staying within its normal range of about 30% of world economic growth in previous years. Even before the Russia Ukraine conflict, the World Bank and the IMF were already downgrading the world growth outlook to 4.1% and 4.4% respectively for 2022. Lian Ping, head of Sichin Investment Research Institute, said that while China's growth in 2022 is likely to slow down from 2021 levels, the trend will likely coincide with a simultaneous slowdown in the world economy due to the conflict, the pandemic, and pandemic induced economic difficulties. All considered, China will remain the growth driver of the world economy and its contribution will not shrink. Lian predicted, in terms of contribution, there is a good chance China's share will actually increase with the tapping of its internal strength. China has the conditions, capacity, and confidence to achieve the 5.5% GDP growth target despite multiple challenges and uncertainties. He Lifeng, head of China's top economic planner, told reporters on Saturday on the sidelines of the two sessions. He listed targeted investment in infrastructure and mega projects to foster high quality development and fix weak links. Multiple channels of financial from both central budget and special bond issuance by local governments and faster implementation of projects is some of the measures used to prop up investment. The Chinese government is steadily pushing forward the implementation of the 102 mega projects earmarked for the 14th five-year plan 2021 to 2025 period. He said, noting that some 2,600 smaller projects were already spun off from these mega projects. Lian said that due to external pressure, one of the features for 2022 will be China tapping into its internal strength for economic drive. With its massive infrastructure build-up, deficit ratio and deployment strategy aiming to have an effect earlier in the year. The real estate industry will also warm up to some extent, Lian said. The government work report also set a slew of economic and social development goals for 2022, including the creation of more than 11 million new urban jobs and keeping CPI growth at around 3%. Another keenly watched set of data is China's deficit to GDP ratio, which was set at around 2.8% for 2022, down from 3.2% last year. China will also push forward the digital economy, which has been fully integrated with the real economy. Liu Dingding, a veteran industry analyst, told the Global Times on Saturday that the complementarity will continue, noting the successful practice of major technology giants such as Alibaba, Tencent, and Huawei in applying their advanced technologies to assist the development of agriculture, education, and a variety of industries. With this, we are at the end of the report. The report is sourced from Global Times and is written by GT staff reporters. If you are liking our content, then don't forget to like, share, subscribe to our channel. Thank you.